We need to go past the left-right crap dichotomy of, oh, Fox is honest because they kind of like Republicans. Oh, MSNBC is honest because they kind of like Democrats. Bullcrap. They're all lying to you. Fox and everyone on Fox is lying to you. If you're a right-winger and you don't understand this, I'd say that you need to look past their so-called ideology. They're a corporation. They want to screw you, get your views, they'll lie to you, they'll sell you anything under the sun in order to get you to pay attention to their broadcast. The same is true on the left. You think MSNBC actually gives a damn about climate change, or gay rights, or abortion, or any of these things that it pretends to care about? These people get seven-figure salaries to pretend to care in order for the corporation to make more money. There are people on YouTube and elsewhere who do care about these things. You will not find them on CNN or Fox. You won't find them on MSNBC. You won't find them on NBC or CNBC. They do not exist there. Those people are bought and sold and told what to say. Those shining faces that you see on the news every night are paid literally to lie to you. And they don't have a working neuron in their head. They've got a degree in journalism and they're coherent and generally physically attractive. That's the only qualification that they require. They don't have to be a critical thinker. Hell, it's a detriment if you are one. All these people. Doesn't matter who they are. You're part of their cult of personality. Oh, yeah, Bill O'Reilly's pretty good. No, that's because you're comparing him to Rachel Maddow and you happen to be on the right. Oh, Rachel Maddow's so smart. No, you're comparing her to Bill O'Reilly and you're on the left. You're comparing them with low-hanging fruit. This is how a false dichotomy is set up in the first place.
The media is still left of center, and they're trying to buffer up their waning enterprise, their waning monopoly, by giving $315 million to Arianna Huffington. Is AOL coming to me saying, wow, you've got this audience of the center right? It wouldn't dawn on them because it is the war that I've described. Who's winning? Well, monetarily, they still are controlling the majority of the pieces, but what we are winning tactically, because Hannah Giles and James O'Keefe took down Acorn with a high-quality video series that cost less than $1,400, which sends a message to the average kid out there that if ABC, CBS, and NBC are not going to cover things and act as a checks and balance against progressive organizations, against the AFL-CIO, against the SEIU, ACORN, other community organizing groups, then we can do it ourselves. And we're having an effect going around the Democrat media complex, over it, or right straight forward. And my business model is to aim every one of our exposés straight at the mainstream media and say, Katie Couric, you are being dared not to cover this.
There are people online who actually give a damn about the direction of this world, myself included. There are millions of us online who care, because we're taken from the ranks of the average person. I was raised poor. I was not raised in some gated community, trained up to get a master's degree in journalism and take a job at CNN. There's an enormous difference between the two. Their worldview is screwed. And don't try to sell me these stories about how much you care. You care about women's rights, or you care about the future of Western civilization. Bullcrap. You people, the pundits, the CEOs of these news corporations, Hollywood, all of these groups take the same money from the same multinational groups that oversee countries that they abuse gay people. They abuse women. They abuse children so severely you couldn't even comprehend it in your lifetimes. You look at what happens in these parts of the world, and you try and tell me for a moment that they could possibly spend so much as 1 red cent in these countries and care about women's rights, that they could care about orphans or care about war. You tell me that they could possibly do that in their wildest dreams. Bullshit. It's completely and utterly wrong. They know what they're doing. They want your money. They want you to spend it on cable TV so you can sit down in front of your screen like a mind-numb zombie all day and zone out and accept whatever the hell they happen to say to you. That's what they want. But the internet endangers that monopoly. Before, people chose between different cable channels. And they sat there like good little mind-numbed slaves. They sat there like slaves, and they passively absorbed everything that was shown into them. And I predicted back in January that character assassination would be the next attempt by this same corporate media. These glowing, benevolent people would start attacking some of the major content creators on YouTube and elsewhere. What did they do a few weeks later? PewDiePie's a Nazi. What did they do a little later than that? JonTron's a Nazi. These people who talk about gaming, they have nothing to do with politics. They're Nazis. They're fake news. They're evil. You should turn them off. They need to be censored. They need to be restricted. I told you it was going to happen. Nobody paid me any heed. I told you it would occur. And it is. And they're going to keep doing it because it works.
I can't tell you how many people tell me, don't go on to the Bill Maher show. And first of all, I've had my greatest successes because I live in West Los Angeles. My life is taking it to them. I live in West Los Angeles. I live amid, the Hollywood rubble. And when I do a Bill Maher show and I go to Starbucks the next morning and the barista says, I saw you on TV last night and I didn't like how the audience was booing you before you finished your sentences. And I thought that you made an interesting point. Nobody sought me out to reclaim me on behalf of my parents, not even my parents. I tripped upon conservatism. My goal is to go out there and find someone else like me who'd never even known what conservatism was and say, hey, maybe I can draw you in. I try and do it through mirth and humor a lot of the times, and in addition to the investigative stuff that I do. When I say confront these people head on, I went down to the anti-Coke rally on rollerblades and a camera. Christian Hartsock was there and I was there, and we both captured unbelievable, pro-violence rhetoric. Let's string up Clarence Thomas, what these progressives had to say. Just terrible, terrible stuff.
They're lost without us. But a lot of people simply don't recognize their power, or they're bogged down in this crap about, left wing, right wing. I'm entertainment, I don't do politics. I'm politics, I don't do entertainment. I analyze news, I don't really care about politics or political affiliation. People are so stuck in this weird-ass mentality they don't even realize they're exactly the same thing to these corporate media outlets. You're poor, or you're in the middle class, or maybe you're lucky, you're in the upper middle class. It's as far as you probably go. That's YouTube. That's who we are. We're the average citizen. It's a sampling of people from around the world. And these corporate media apparatuses, they want to lie to you. And they want to get paid for doing it. You know what I say? I say you should cut off your cable entirely. Don't pay any attention to the news. Don't even refer to their sites unless you're archiving the link. That's what I say you should do. That's the way to stop them. Drain them of more money. Drain them of more audience, drain them of more trust. We sap them and vampirize them as quickly as possible and crush them out of existence.
Many of the things that I've accomplished have had, such as taking on the complex. What most of AM talk radio does simply criticizes it from afar. When I saw what they did to Clarence Thomas, and you juxtapose what they did to Clarence Thomas next to anointing Bill Clinton for exhibiting the same behavior that they claimed that Thomas was guilty of. When you see how they treat the Tea Party, they're default racist. They have to disprove their racism. I believe that the organism, the natural organism that is the Democrat media complex, behaves oftentimes in an evil fashion. My goal is to destroy the mainstream media as we currently know it so that it is more equitable, so that it is more fair. It seems like an outrageous goal. I'm not sure that there's a business model that's going to make it so that I'm going to have Rupert Murdoch-like money, but I hope that my children's generation exists in a more fair and equitable media. And the first thing that we're going to have to get rid of is this fake declaration of objectivity and neutrality. That is a big lie. We need to move towards something that is a more mature version of what we have now, more like the UK. In Britain, the newspapers are avowedly left and right. We are just going through the adolescent phase of recognizing that objectivity was the big lie of the latter part of the 20th century.
Virtually everyone's on the internet. Why aren't we crushing them? Why aren't we destroying them completely? Get rid of them all. All they've done is lie to us for half a century. What's the point in retaining them? They're totally vestigial. Utterly. Some random person sitting in the middle of a tent out in Zimbabwe delivers better news than CNN does. Can you say vestigiality? It's almost hideous. It's an evolutionary throwback of such severe terms that it's almost like looking like a deformed fucking mutant. That's what the corporate news has devolved into. Don't get me started on the entertainment industry. It's not entertaining. You watch a bunch of soap operas, but they have titles like House or Breaking Bad, so you don't even notice that it's the same formula. You watch a bunch of movies, you don't even notice that they're rehashes of stuff that was made in the 60s or the 70s or the 80s, maybe the 90s. They had started rehashing by then. You don't even notice, because you sit there and zone out. Get rid of this nonsense. Cast it into the fire, so to speak. Shut off your TV. Stop watching cable news. Be interactive, but play a video game. It's honestly better than TV. It's better. And they're trying to make inroads into that. They'll fucking fail. Gamergate, sort of stuff. Use the internet. Make content. Don't just absorb it passively. It's nonsensical to do so. That's about all. Peace out.